Hello everyone, Zelrant here, and today we're at Etheria Restart. I thought I'd talk a little bit about where my account is as we go into the end of week 2, going into week 3. So seeing how my plans are going to be going forward, especially with the latest announcements we've gotten related to the indirect indirect character nerfs from the boss buffs that the game did. They have finally made a response to that, and we are getting some polls with the code, as well as a new reset event that will be coming up. That will have 1 free reset as well as 2 that you can pay with crystals. So that's really good. I think that completely solves like the problem that was created with the indirect character nerfs. Now you could say potentially, I think one of them could have been somebody that they used their selector for, so that could still be a little bit of a problem. But they at least did give us some polls to kind of make up for it. And I don't think it was anything significant other than the Shadow Sanya one on Aurora. But overall, the reset is really, really good. And what's funny thing is, Shadow Sanya is still really good. That she's not the one I would advise on using the reset for, because if you actually go into the challenges, one thing you'll see, like Termaton's the biggest example, is Didding is great all the way up through Health 4, but as soon as you hit Inferno, he's nowhere to be seen. But Shadow Sanya is, because when it comes to this, getting the high, like the very quick clear times that you see on the tip top of clear times, Didding is very good at that. The Infernos are slower because they can't use him because there is stripping and all that pretty much prevents his heavy damage he does, then requiring you to now start using your Shadow Sanya to get those kinds of clears. Which kind of makes it, I mean, I've been struggling on Termaton, even though I've invested in my Didding. I have not actually pushed into Hell on him yet. My main focus has been Doki. Doki on my account. I'm trying to get Health 3. I just think I need to get a little bit more gear. One of the things I've really not liked about this game is the PvP endgame in terms of just the gear struggle. And this is just me coming from Honkai Star Rail. I pretty much never invested in my gear until we got to the end game, and I could farm the highest tier gear, like the gear that you're going to permanently, like, is going to be your end game gear. Here, even Hell 1 and Hell 2, just the gear kind of feels bad because you're not going to get the 3 modifiers on them here. And I just feel like I'm investing so heavily into pieces I know I'm eventually replacing here in a week or 2. But at this point, I will eventually get Doki probably this week. Because the other thing they've also announced is the bonus double item drop event will be coming up. And so, while I have used some of these, I probably used like 15 of them, maybe 20, just to kind of get myself to level 40 to make sure I had a lot of the content unlocked. I think that unlocked like the last thing on the events. But other than that, now I'm just kind of chilling. And kind of actually waiting for the reset. Now, I've invested heavily into Didding, as well as, and I don't want to reset him, but one of the reasons I'm struggling on Doki as well, when I look at clear times, is for her, because my plans going into next week is get her to level 5 on her 3rd one here, so that I can actually more reliably see the enemies, which is kind of important, as well as having the skill cooldown reduced. Problem I have is, as you can see, I have no purples. Nice thing is, so I need 4 of them. And there's someone I feel like I've wasted them in because they're not as valuable in her. Is I've dumped a bunch into her. And I think she'll be fine without them. So she's actually, Danya's going to be the one that I do reset. So I can get all of these back and just put them right into her. I want to get where I can clear at least one of the bosses at Health 3. So the double event has given me a decent chance to get the 3 pieces. I think Doki is the best one to do it. Because the Swift gear is pretty much the most important gear, at least I'm finding for now, in terms of potentially being able to beat the other bosses as well. And so I will be farming Doki hopefully by that point. My real Mocha, already have her completely maxed out. My other ones where I've used these is on him. Level 3 was the good spot to stop to have the ignore passive. He's pretty much getting no more investment in terms of my perfect lattices. And I have not invested my perfect lattices like anywhere else. And this is kind of the long-term play. There are going to be new light dark units coming in the future. And I'm going to try and hopefully over the course of the next, how long are these, what's left on these banners? I think it's like 2 weeks on the banners. Yeah. 10 days, 15 hours. I'm going to be saving them all up to see who the next unit is, because they could be someone that's absolutely broken for one of the contents, especially being a light and dark. And I want to be ready to be able to just completely max them out right off the bat. What this has caused is this is going to make me struggle a little bit now, but it's planning for the future long term, because those perfect lattices aren't going to come very often. And I think I have the investment enough. Remulcha was the biggest one. He's good on his second skill 2. The only other one that maybe I'd want to at this point was skill 2 for her. But man, it's expensive because you want to go all the way to level 4 to increase her skill cooldown reduction to 2. Other than that, I'm just going to go with what I got, because I think everybody else works. It's more of a gear problem for me than anything else. And then I'll invest in that light dark unit once the next banner comes. So 3rd week for me, and I think for a lot of people at this point, now you know you should definitely not be using these anymore. Be ready for the doubling event. So I am saving those right now just to make it easy, because I have this basically at, like, this is on a daily grind for me now. I'm just trying to push out a little bit more damage in her to make Doki Doki a little easier. So I've been just farming the XP materials to just slowly level her. I'm going to take her all the way to level 50. That way she'll be good, a little bit better for Doki Doki. I've farmed a crap ton of shells. The main ones being... I haven't really invested in them too much other than a little bit in the big one that I had. But in terms of shells, I do have one of these guys. It's a furry momentum one. Kind of... I need this one has this odd effect on it, so this one will probably end up going to someone that's odd in the future. But I have farmed a decent amount of others. Right now, I'm looking at probably investing in this one with Furry and Kenai for my Didding, because I can both farm Furry and Kenai actually right now. The only one I can't get momentum because I can't beat Aurora at... I think you can't see momentum till Hell 2. And so this one's kind of not really good for me right now. And if I want to get that, squeeze out that little bit extra damage, I'm going to invest in that shell. But I'm going to jump back and forth between farming XP and farming shells, because one of the things that kind of sucks with this boss right here is only these 2 shells here have much value. The ones after it aren't really, like... I might be able to use this on someone just to get extra stats, but I don't find them better than the shark in terms of having that plus speed and all that. So these ones are pretty much ignored. They'll probably just end up being fodder for XP, which is good. You're going to need a crap ton of this. So, I mean, when you get rid of each one, I mean, you get a decent amount of stuff in there when you do it. So I will be mixing in farming shells alongside the XP for my units right now. That is super easy. But yeah, overall, looking pretty good going to next week. I think anybody that is in a similar situation to me, your goal at this point is really just get to the point that you can beat one of the health 3s, so you can at least health 3, maybe farther. Now, if you're in my situation, you probably didn't heavily dump your crystals into, and I would still say don't dump your crystals into energy at this point. Like, once you're at level 40, the only thing you can't do is the Inferno mode. I think it's only the Inferno mode, which, if you're in my situation, you're not going to be able to beat anyway. You're going to need to be able to get the rest of the gear. And so now it's just a slow progress. And at this point on the arena, I haven't done it for this week. I'm going to be doing it here soon. But just go back and forth. You can actually get all the rewards here in terms of... Now, you're not going to get a high rank because of all the whales. But for me, I don't care. All I care about right now is being able to buy out the shop here. So I'm going to be... I have to finish it for this week. Make sure you're getting these. So my goal this week is to finish off getting the remaining 5 of these. And then next week, getting the Anima Crystal Point. I'm kind of talking about the Crystal Points. That's another area where I'm going to just hold on to those for a while, because they are for dupes. And the dupes are not that important, but they are fairly good if you get all of them on it. At least when you kind of look at some of the units, like let's look at Messiahs, for example. So just because you're able to get a dupe when you get enough of them, because I think one event gave us like 5,000, don't do it on the red, green, blue. My plan is to hopefully just save up a crap ton, maybe like 30,000. So this is a really long-term strat. And then invest in like whatever my favorite light dark unit ends up being in the future. I already know of one that's going to be a light unit coming up that we've kind of seen in a cutscene. We do know they're going to be light. That could potentially be the unit I do it in. We'll just have to see what their kit ends up being. But I mean, you get basic 5% stats, nothing crazy there. But then you can get a crit rate increase. This would be massive on the second one for a lot of units. Actually, one reason I want to get, I really want to get 2 more dupes of him. But just so I can get the extra crit rate. But then you have, yeah, the crit rate, more stats, crit damage, and then increases damage dealt by an additional 10% and reduces damage taken. So this is the 6th one, and that can be huge. So long term, if I want to do it on a light unit, that's 15, 30, 45, 60, and then 75. So yeah, quite expensive. So that's I'm just not, like, dupes don't make enough of an impact at one dupe for me to just grab them. So my plan is actually to just hold on to them for a while. Now, I don't know how often, this is kind of the other part, I don't know how often they cycle through them. Like right now it's Heinrich, and then it'll probably be Lily, and then it'll probably be Doki Doki, and then it'll probably be Mio. And as they add more units, it might take months before we even see the same unit come up again. But it is just kind of my plan at this point. Maybe in the future I change my mind, but it doesn't hurt to hold on to these. And that's kind of my plan here. I'm not going to worry too much about dupes. Definitely not going to invest on this side at all. But yeah, that's overall where I'm at right now. I really like the reset that's coming. I really hope that they do more of those in the future. Because it just makes it easier as a new character is released if you have the ability to reset an old one and just throw all of your investment into them. Like you have your module, but being able to get your lattices. I don't know how often we're going to get the resets though. It might be when they screw up like this, because one of the things that is that kind of makes this game pay to win or get people to spend money are the lattices, because as time goes on, the whales are going to be able to buy what, like, yeah, they're gonna be able to buy this one every week, and so they're gonna slowly get ahead in terms of lattices. They can buy the purple one here, the gold one here, and I believe there's other places they can get them to through spending. I mean, you have the these packs here. I'll eventually buy these beginner packs depending on how long I play the game. But then you also have, if you're not even buying into the where is it, the battle pass, there is one at the end of this one as well. So over time, the whales are just going to end up having more in the long run. So having the resets could make it a more even playing field if they give them more out decently often, especially if they make any changes to characters. Hopefully that happens. But that is my account. That's kind of where I am going into week 3. Hopefully this week my plan is to be able to beat Hell 3 content, at least on Doki Doki. Termaton, hopefully as well. I think it's just a gearing issue at this point. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.